So I was walking around minding my own business as one would when suddenly I realized just how bored I was. So I sat down wondering what on earth could I play to be, well, less bored. I looked over at the desk and it hit me. Let's revisit some childhood memories with some Pokemon. More specifically, some Pokemon SoulSilver. In my opinion, these were some of the last few games that were actually worth the wait and truly fun to play. But if you ever played these games, you'll know that these are a little too easy. So why not make them harder? I had a genius and totally original idea to spin a random number and solo the game with just that Pokemon. There are 256 Pokemon before the introduction of the National Dex, and I thought, why not generate a random number and play? So I did. Oh, 117? Surely it can't be that bad, right? I mean, I don't know my Pokemon numbers, but it couldn't be the worst thing in the world, right? Right? Okay, so Grimer. It has a pretty minuscule move pool and even more so in base stats, but here we go. Without further ado, can I beat Pokemon SoulSilver with only Grimer? We start off in New Barktown, where Professor M gives us the choice to choose between 3 Pokemon, to which of course we choose Grimer. I name it Thanos because God knows what kind of one-snap delete the field type of luck we'll need and the power that we'll have to bring. I'll do my best to try and cover a majority of the story in case this is the first time you've ever seen SoulSilver, but still I'll be cutting out the boring bits. Anyway, we ended up getting a hasty Stench Grimer, which honestly I have no idea if that's good or not. I've never been the type to really optimize, learn what all the natures do, since when I usually play, it's usually just for fun or for shiny hunting. We then head over to Jerry Grove, where an old man gives a pair of running shoes, making our journey just a little bit faster in the long run. After visiting Professor Oak, breeding a rival, and naming him Gunk, we get a little tutorial on how to catch Pokemon, something that we'll only be using for HMs, which leads into a good time of actually explaining the rules. I can only use Grimer in battle, held items are fine but no items during combat, and HM users are okay as well. I also want to try to complete this at the lowest level possible. We enter Violet City and make relatively quick work of Bellsprout Tower. Just like that, we're fighting our first gym. I give it a couple attempts at level 11, but Falconer's Pidgeotto is just a little too strong for us at the moment. Between eating a mouthful of sand and only having Pound as our current move, I need to put on a couple pounds first. I tried again at level 12 and then failed, and then finally at level 13 where I got this run a couple tries later. I start off landing 2 pounds, knocking his Pidgey out, but not before he lowers my accuracy by 1 stage. Pidgeotto comes out and I go for a Poison Gas, hoping to win this battle by chip damage. Luckily he chose not to spam Roost, and I just finish him off with a couple more pounds. There isn't much happening between now and the next gym leader, but I do want to mention something that I've never seen before. I have no idea if this was common knowledge, but if you only had 1 Pokemon in your party and then proceeded to fight in Bugsy's required double battle, they just, well, battle. Anyway, we take our first attempt at the second gym leader and it goes pretty bad. Between me missing Poison Gas inside this incredibly strong attack stat, my current level just isn't strong enough. I try to get a level 20 with the new move Sludge, and after a couple attempts we finally beat Bugsy. Considering I left this fight with 7 HP, I don't think this was possible without learning that new move. After Bugsy, we actually have another rival fight, and let me tell you, this was the start of something I never thought would be a problem. Want to take a guess? It's Curse, specifically Cursed by the ghastly evolution line. This one move is so inconvenient in solo runs, and it takes away a quarter of my HP every turn on top of whatever else damage is done during that time. In order to win this battle, I need to get through paralysis, confusion, and accuracy issues. It took about 10 attempts, but we're finally able to move on. On the way to the next gym leader, there are actually some important, well, 2 important locations that could potentially make this run easier, or at the very least possible. That is the Goldenrod Game Corner and the department store. Inside each of these places contains some powerful TMs that Grimers can use, such as Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, Thunder, and Fire Blast. If there ever comes times where Thanos needs an Infinity Stone, these are the places to get it. For now, let's just go over Whitney. Our first few attempts were at level 24, but we just weren't strong enough. Between a tracked, rollout, and some serious flinch hacks, Thanos didn't have the firepower. 3 levels later, and after flinching like 5 times, we land a critical hit to secure our 3rd badge. Honestly, I think this one gym leader has given nightmares and ended so many people's nuzlocks before. On our way to the 4th gym, we pick up an important item that can turn the tides of a fight, the Quick Claw. Since this is a solo run, any amount of HP conserved is HP that can be used to take a couple of hits. And as you'll see throughout this run, the Quick Claw turns a one-sided beatdown in their favor into a winning battle for us. Anyway, we head over to the Burn Tower where we encounter our rival again, and this atrocious creature. To make matters worse, Gym Leader Morty and all the fights before all have at least one of these evolution lines. It gets so bad that I physically cannot beat the first trainer in the gym. At this point I don't feel like grinding levels, but if you remember I actually picked up an Infinity Stone earlier. I taught Thanos Thunder, and eventually with some RNG and resets, I reached Morty. It took some resets and a couple of levels, but after having my children, grandchildren, and their children's cursed, we got our 4th gym badge. Now I actually forgot about the Team Rocket grid we had to beat, and so we quickly just did that to get Surf. From this point, there are 2 options that can be taken. Go towards the left for Olivine, or towards the right to Mahogany. For some reason, I really liked having this option as a kid, and frankly, the fact that there were 2 different stories you could choose between was really cool. In this case, we took the whole Lighthouse debacle, and I decided to save the Team Rocket for later. Since the whole ordeal with Amphi is just straight trainer battles and there isn't really anything important, let's just skip to Chuck's gym. This was honestly the easiest gym battle so far, taking only 1 attempt. With the lucky quick call Thunder, Poliwrath didn't stand a chance. As a reward, we got HM Fly and headed back to the Lighthouse after picking up the medicine. Immediately after, we take on Jasmine, where I give Thanos another Infinity Stone, Fire Blast, a TM that I picked up at the Goldenrod department store. With this new move, her Steel Tides were a complete pushover and made it easy first try. You know, as much as I underestimated Grammar's ability, I think this just shows that Hard Gold SoulSilver's power scale is just terrible. Anyway, after completing this side of the map, we head over to the Lake of Rage to complete the fork in the road. Here we encounter the iconic red Gyarados, and Dragon Trainer Lance tells us to help him with some tasks. We made quick work of the underground rocket base in Mahogany, and there wasn't anything worth mentioning, so let's just fight Gym Leader Price. It took a couple of attempts since Thanos kept missing between Thunder and Fire Blast alongside any unlucky Paralysis or Sleep Block, but overall a pretty easy gym battle. We have to do another storyline with Team Rocket, and again it's just battles and most of it is mindless pressing, except for one battle. Anyway, with all the Rocket cleared out, it's finally time to make our way towards the final gym leader, Claire. She leads a team of Dragon types, even though like 2 of her members aren't Dragon types, and I guess she learned that from Lance, who also has half his team as non-dragons. But we get to Claire's gyms and we give it a couple attempts at different levels until we get this run. We first get hit by a Dragon Rage and follow it up with the critical Thunder. She sends out Dragonair and we use Gunk Shot for a one-shot. Third is Kingdra, and this one Pokemon was a cause of many resets and level training. We just don't have any move for him, and so we have to just spam Sludge Bomb and Gunk Shot, eventually knocking him out. She sends out her last Pokemon, but we're on 4 HP. Luckily our Quick Claw activates, allowing us to hit one final Gunk Shot, giving us the final badge. With that, we only have a few things to take care of before our attempt at the Elite Four. Professor Elm calls us and tells us he has a gift for us, the Master Ball. He also tells us that there are Chromono girls waiting for us to challenge them. Now, let me tell you something. When I first started this challenge, I knew that there were going to be 2 main issues, how to beat Dragon types and how to survive psychic moves. What I didn't expect, and what I completely forgot about, was the Kimono girl with Espeon. It's faster than me and leaves me with a quarter of HP every time it hits me. The problem is, even if I can beat Espeon, I still have 3 more consecutive fights to win. I had to power level to the point where I could one-shot the Espeon, which, by the way, had to be almost 30 levels above it, otherwise it would live with a Gunk Shot. Eventually, I beat all 5 Kimono girls and we head over to the War Islands to deal with Lugia. In case you've never seen this cutscene, I'll just leave this here for you. As a kid, I really loved this, and honestly, I don't know why. There's just something about it. Anyway, with all the main story done, it's finally time to head over to the Elite Four. I'll jump right into it and skip the last rival battle as it wasn't anything special except, of course, that thing. These are the current stats that Thanos has and what we'll be working with. First up is Will, who sends out Xatu as his first Pokemon. We easily take it out with the Thunder, and next up is Jinx. She hits us with a powerful Psychic, leaving us under half HP. We hit back with a Fire Blast, and he sends out Slowbro. Thunder finishes it off, and our next Thunder procs a Quick Claw activation, leaving him with his final Pokemon. One more Fire Blast finishes the job. Second is Koga. We usually take out Aryados and Fortress with 2 Fire Blasts. We miss a few Thunders, but eventually one hits to take out Crobat. Next up is Muk, and this one took a while since we had no super effective moves against him. I mean, it kinda makes sense. Thanos can't be future Thanos, you know what I mean? Bunch of gunk shots later, we move on to Bruno. This fight was pretty neutral, and I didn't have any super effective moves for him, and for some reason he had an Onyx, but that wasn't too big of a problem. But Champ goes down to a gunk shot, Hitmonlee follows suit, and his last Pokemon the same, even though I had almost lost due to accuracy issues. Fourth is Karen, and Umbreon goes down pretty quick. She sounds out Houndoom, and I one-shot it with a gunk shot, followed with a one-shot on Murkrow. Next is... oh. Anyway, her last Pokemon is taken out with a Fire Blast. This means that there's only one challenge left. Dragon Chainer Lance, the champion. I tried beating him at level 70, but I couldn't even get past his first Dragonite. Even if I did manage to beat it, there were 4 more members left. I had to level up some more. So I came back at level 75, and even though I was a little stronger, it wasn't enough to win. So I trained up some more and came back at level 85, where I had an extremely close run, but just lost out due to some bad paralysis luck. So I know this is possible, and because of that, I gotta grind some resets. Eventually, we get this run. I Quick Claw Thunder to defeat Gyarados. 1 Gunk Shot and 1 Sludge Bomb took out his first Dragonite, leaving me still at full HP. I Quick Claw Sludge Bomb doing a good amount of damage, but he paralyzes me. Eventually I knock it out with 2 more Sludge Bombs. His final Dragonite comes out and I hit a critical Sludge Bomb. Charizard is out and I Quick Claw Thunder, giving me a one-shot. His final Pokemon, Aerodactyl, is here. He hits me with the Rock Slide, leaving me with just about half HP, and I land a Gunk Shot in return. I know I'm paralyzed, so I'm slower than it. The question is, do I risk missing a Gunshot or use a Sludge Bomb and hope it has enough damage to kill? Luckily we had enough, and with that, Thanos beats Pokemon SoulSilver. I think this one fight took me about 50 attempts. Yeah, that was not fun. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have, please go ahead and give it a like, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I plan on doing more challenge videos and maybe even other games inside of Pokemon. Now I know there was cantos to be completed, and as well as a secret boss fight Red on top of Mount Silver, but for now we'll leave it at this. If you guys do want me to continue this grammar only run into Kanto, let me down in the comments below and I'll be sure to give it a shot. Also, make sure to leave any suggestions and I'll read over as I get to them. Anyway, with that, I hope you have a good rest of your day, and good night.